I'm going to do a lesson today on how to play Regret Me by Daisy Jones and the Six from the show. That has been an adaptation from the book. I thought it was a really great show and I've loved watching it. I thought Blake Mills did a brilliant job with the songwriting. I was amazed about the stories that the lead actress was Elvis's granddaughter and that she couldn't really sing before filming the show, and neither could Billy, the other actor, apparently, and they both had lessons. So I just think they did a great job of everything, and I went online to sort of work out this riff because it's a good riff. It wasn't there, no lessons were online, so I thought I'll do a lesson for anyone else who wants to learn it. So it's in regular tuning, this song, but we drop the E, the low E, down to a D. So everything else is regular apart from that. So this E goes down to a D. So drop D, but only one D drop. Okay, so it starts with the riff, which is a bit of an unusual riff, really. It's open on the low D, 3, and then slide up from 5 to 7. So, and then we go 3-0 on the A string, and then slide up from 5 to 7 on that same string. So, you might want to practice that, and then once you've done that, it's 5 on the D string, then down to 2 on that same string, and then slide up on the string below it, the G, from 2 to 4. So far we've got and then we use finger 1 to play fret 3 of the B string, and then up to fret 7 of the high E, and then we do a half bend on the 6 of the B, up to 7 note, so like this. And you might want to put a bit of vibrato on that note, so. And then it's both fingers on 8 of the top 2 strings, so the B and the E, and it slides down to this shape, which is fret 2 of the E and fret 3 of the B. It's kind of the bottom half of the D chord. So. And then we go back to the top of the riff. There's only one other thing that he does on this riff, which is just an end little lead into the verse, which is sliding from 1 to 2 on the G, and then 3 on the B. So that's the intro, and the chords that go underneath that are the same as the start of the verse. So it's D minor, then A minor, then E minor. But because we are detuned, we've got to add this first finger on the dropped D on fret 2 to make it sound like an E minor, or you can wrap your thumb over the Hendrix way of playing it. And then we go to G, but again, because we're detuned, instead of playing the G like this, I play it finger 3 on fret 5 of the dropped D string, and then finger 1 on fret 3 of the B string. And with those 2 fingers, you also mute the A and the top E, so that sounds like this. It's like a good way of playing a G when you're detuned, and then a D major. So the interesting thing about this is that it goes from D major down to D minor, which is a bit of an unusual change. Again, great songwriting. So that progression all the way through is this. The verse. So the verse, the first line of the verse is the same chords again. So regretted me and now regret you. It's the same chords, and then we go D minor, A minor, E minor. So the same up to that point, and then G. But we stay on the G for a little bit longer on this next line, and then we end on an E minor rather than going back to the D. So we go G, and then we do a walk up from 5, 7, 9, and then E minor. So that would sound like this. Okay? And that's said I don't care what you feel, and I totally already do. And then G kind of builds, it goes back to the D. ahead and regret me, but I'm beating you to the groove. Alright, so that last little bit after the G and the D is just A minor, E minor, G, D. Okay, so I'll play all those verse chords together so you can hear how they sound back to back without me singing over it. So here we go. To the chorus, which is exactly the same chords actually as the verse, but on the chorus we just miss one E minor shape and stay on the G for slightly longer, and that's on the second time around the chord. So I'll show you. It goes, you regret me, I regret you. So that's the same. So this time D minor straight to the G. So can't handle your liquor and you can't seem to handle the truth. The rest is the same. I'm a slippage in the system and ready to strike. And A minor, go ahead and regret me, but I'm not giving up on this ride. Not giving up on this ride. Yeah, so there we go, and then we're back into the riff. The riff is the same, but there's a couple of minor differences. So you got the riff, and then you do the. But in between the two riffs then, you've got this extra added bit, which is 4 on the drop to D string, and then hammer on from 0 to 2 on the A, and then open, or 0 on the D. So after the, it would sound like this, and then you're back into the riff on that open D, you know. And then this time actually, before I finish that riff, when you go to the last two notes, he pauses on this time just before going back into the middle, it's kind of a middle 8 or a bridge. He pauses on that note and does the bend a little bit late, if you want to play it exactly like he does on the track. Okay, and then the sort of the bridge or the middle 8, I don't know what really to call this, but he kind of changes tempo to 6/8 or 3/4, and it's so that's an F minor, and I'm playing it like this without the top string, because it's, I mean, you could add this finger to do the top string, but I'm just barring there and doing like an E minor shape moved up. You can add that finger if you want on the bass note, and then E minor. But what I found sounds quite nice on this middle 8 is just to make it sound more like the track. Rather than strumming it, you can pick it like this. So I'm picking the middle 4 strings first, and then on the E I'm going from the drop to D, and then these, which is the D, the G, and the B. They're the ones that I'm picking. So it does those two chords twice, and then it does G, and D, and then it goes into this sort of build on an A major, please, and then D minor, do anything you please. Again, a bit of a strange change, and then we're back into the chorus. And again, on this chorus, we miss E minor out the second time around. So, find it perfectly natural. Oh, and this time actually, they accentuate all the stabs on the G. Find it perfectly natural. So it's like, if you want to play it like them, and then this time we go from the G, instead of going from the G to the D, we go from the G to the F sharp minor. So, of the appreciation, take a corner of you. And then stop playing and Daisy sings, "Go ahead and regret me for being you to a dude." And then there's this nice picking bit where it's a D chord, but you put your pinky finger on fret 5, and I play it like this. So it does that 4 times. So that I'm playing the B and the dropped D note together, then the G, and then E and B. So you do that 4 times. And then after that, there's just an outro, which again is clever songwriting. It's a D major this time. So it's a bit of a simpler chord progression, but it's regret me, but I always will to regret you. So that is D major, A minor, E minor, G, and then back to D major. And we sing that 3 times. So go ahead and regret me, but I always will to regret you. Yeah, go ahead and regret me, but I always will to regret you. And on the 3rd time, you end on a D minor. Go ahead and regret me, but I always will to regret. Because we're back into the riff. And the riff takes place 3 times. At the end we just end with a big D. Now, just one more thing to say on this, that end riff is the same, it's a bit more scuzzed up, he's doing a few different things. But there's a few little licks he does in between playing the riff, and one of them is this. He bars 10 on the B and the E, and hammers the B onto the 12. A bit sort of like the solo in Free, All Right Now or something. And then the other riff that he does is he does a big bend on the E on 12 and pulls off from 12 to 10. Does the same thing on the B string, so, and then on the G he slides down from 11 to 9 to 7. So slides from 11 to 9 and then pull off to 7. And that's basically it, that's the whole song. Hope you found that helpful, and yeah, it's a bit of a tricky piece, but it's nice to play, and yeah, I love the show. If you've enjoyed it, leave me a comment. Peace.